Tessie. I'm a student in the Bachelor of Arts program with College for America at Southern Yorkshire University. I have conducted a street interview on the branches of government and collected people's viewpoints about that topic. My name is Aimee. I am a student in the Bachelor of Arts program with College for America at Southern Yorkshire University, and I am conducting this interview as part of my academic work. With your consent, I will record this interview and use the information in a street interview video, and I am working on for in a project called Government and You under the goal contribute to the society. Yeah, and the interview will be used to create a street interview video and submit it at College for America so that my project can be evaluated. This recording will be used only for that purpose. The interview information will be temporarily stored in the College for America, and the staff only will get to access it. And do you have any questions? Okay, do you give me your consent to be interviewed and recorded? Yeah, can you read this statement?
So I give my informed consent to participate in this interview to be recorded and used as part of the students' clinic work.
Yeah, thank you. I have some questions for you, and the first one is, what are the three branches of the government?
So the three branches of the government are now there is the executive, there is the legislative, which is led by the Congress.
Yeah.
There's the judiciary, which is led by, is it the Supreme Court? Something like that.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. My name is Aimee. I'm a student in the Bachelor of Arts program with College for America at Southern Yorkshire University, and I am conducting this interview as part of my academic work. With your consent, I will record this interview and use the information in a street interview video. I am working on for a project called The Government and You under the goal contribute to the society, and the interview will be used to create a street interview video and submitted to College for America so that my project can be evaluated. This recording will be used only for that purpose, and the interview information will be temporarily stored in the College for America staff who will have access on it. Then, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I have some.
Yeah.
Will this be beneficial to our country, or just to submit to the College of America?
No, it's only for it will be only submitted at College for America, and it's only for the purpose of evaluating my work.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. And then, do you give me your consent to be interviewed?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, thank you. Can you read this statement?
Yeah. I give my informed consent to participate in this interview to be recorded and used as part of the student's academic work.
Yeah, thank you. And then I have some questions, and you can give like the answers. The first one, what are the three branches of the government?
Yeah, like mostly, and in my country, there are three branches of the government. There is the judiciary, there is the legislative, and there is the executive.
Yeah. So I'm going to provide a brief clarification on what the interview said. The first question asked was, what are the three branches of the government? And the answer is the executive, the legislative, and judicial branches. Starting from the first one, the executive branch. The executive branch carries and enforces laws, and it includes presidents and all the members that they work together. The second one about legislative branch is the branch of Congress, and it's made up of the House of Representatives and Senate. And its main responsibility is to create laws. And the first one is the judicial branch, and it's made up of Supreme Courts and judges. Thank you. And what does each branch do?
Yeah, like the the executive executes or implements laws,
Yeah.
and the judiciary amends laws, whereas the the legislative like it proposes laws.
Yeah.
And
Thank you. What does each branch do?
So actually, I may not be very sure, but what I know is like one institutes the laws, another like things of enforcing the laws. So
Yeah.
some things like this, but I'm not sure.
And the second question was, what does each branch do? And I answered this by showing how those branches are connected. And they are connected at the points that each of them can change act of the other branches. Like the president can refuse the legislation created by Congress and nominates head of federal agencies. And also the Congress confirms or rejects the president's nominees and can remove the president from office in special circumstances. And each branch has, like I can say that each branch has its specific power, which creates something called checks and balance. And the purpose of that check and balance is to not letting like one branch controlling too much power. Fine. And the last one, the third one is Democrat and Republican, or the major parties. Can you name a third party?
There's the Green Party, the Reform Party, and I think there are even other names.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
so
you.
the ones I know is Green Party and Reform Party.
Yeah. And the last question is, what is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law?
How a bill becomes a law.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a big process. But what I know is like they have to propose it as a bill, then it goes to the Congress, the senators talk about it, then but the Congress has different parts. It goes through all those parts, then after signed by the president. So it's a big process with the minister. What I know is like it goes through the legislative and the executive branches. That's what I know.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Yona. And the third one is Democrats and Republicans, the major parties. Can you name a third party?
third party
Yeah.
in the US.
Sorry.
Yeah, a third party in the US. Or
Yeah. Actually, there are. I have said there are two parties, major parties: the Democratic and the Republicans.
yeah,
Can you name a third party?
third party I think I know is like independent parties. I don't. There are some leaders who fight for elections when they are independent. I don't know much about other parties.
And going to the third question that I have asked to my interviews, Democrats and Republicans are the major parties. Can you name a third party? And I have started by, to clarify this, I have started by giving a short history about the two-party system. And the two-party system started when there was a rivalry grew between John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, and the Democratic Republican Party was the origin of the present two party system. This party kept the presidency from 1,800 to 1,080. 1828, and in 1828, Andrew Jackson became the first president of a new party, the Democrat of course, and that was the real part of the people. This party held the White House until 1860, and in 1856, the Napan abolitionist movement gave birth to a new party, which is the Republicans, and Abraham Lincoln was the first successful candidate for the presidency. Yeah, and let's talk about the impact of the third parties. The first parties existed in the USA politics, and those I can say they include the Libertarian Party, the Green Party, and the Constitution Party. And the third parties have been, I can say, unsuccessful because the political system has been dominating the two main has been dominated by the two main parties for so long, which are the Democrats and Republicans. And many voters could feel like they were not interested to vote them because they believe that they are wasting their time in voting them. And then another issue of that of the first parties, they lacked financial resources to mount effective campaigns. And also third parties, as third party candidates were excluded from most debates, especially for national office. And I can say also the third parties have influenced the conversation but never tried to make up the government. And lastly, I can say the third party candidates have impacted the national outcome when they could capture just the right percentage of votes in the right states. Yeah, thank you. And the last question is what is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law?
I think the basic process, according to the government's laws and how it's templated, it has to be reviewed, and if it's allowed by the judiciary and other parties, it can be allowed to become a law. That's how it becomes a law.
Yeah, thank you so much leaving it on. Yeah. And the last question is what is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law?
How a bill becomes a law?
Yeah.
Actually, it's a big process. But what I know is they have to propose it as a bill, then it goes to the Congress, the senators talk about it, then the Congress has different parts, goes through all those parts, then after signed by the president. So it's a big process with the minister. What I know is it goes through the legislative and the executive branches. That's what I know.
Yeah, thank you so much. And the fourth question that I asked is, what is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law. And for a bill to become a law, there are many steps that we can follow. First, like anybody can think about a bill, can propose a bill, but the bill is being introduced by whenever, like in the member of the by a member of the Congress, and going to the committee action. Um, about the committee action, that's when there are like debates, some members debate about the bills so that they can take the next step. And at that time, there can be amendment. And amendment is all about how they can adjust that bill or if they can skip some things. Yeah. And then there is another step which is about subcommittee action. At that time, there are hearings from members and experts. And another thing, after they have debated and hear from other members, that's when the bill can be reported. And the bill, when at that step, it is sent to the House floor, and then after being sent, they can vote like the bill. If maybe they accept it, yeah, it's become a bill. If not, they reject it. And then another step is referred to other chamber. At that time, like Senate, it is being sent by Senate in order to become a law. And then the final step is final action. The bill is becomes a law if it's being signed by the president. And then maybe let me talk about some terms like sponsors. Sponsors are the representatives who sponsor bills after introducing them in Congress. And the role of sponsors is to try to gain support from the bill in order to make it a law. Another term is committees. A bill is introduced and examined carefully to act on it. Otherwise, it's proclaimed that like this committee is in charge of examining it, and if they decide, they can skip it or keep it. Yeah, and then let me talk about voting. Voting is the process whereby members in attendance vote to pass or not to pass the bill. And if maybe the majority of the House votes to pass the bill, it can be now it can be approved.